What's up, everyone? Drake here. So we met the like goal. That means today I'm going to fully break down my scheme out of shotgun tight doubles that's in Fresno State Playbook. If you're interested in checking out the previous setups that I dropped, make sure to click on the video link in the top right of the screen now. So to begin, I will show you what audibles I use. My preferred audibles are going to be bench, tight flood, Z-spot smash, as well as zig under. Now, if you would like, you can definitely replace tight flood with a run play, such as halfback quick base or inside zone. Personally, I prefer to leave all my passing plays here, just so I'm not limited once I break the huddle. And if I ever want to run the ball, I can just come out in it situationally. Now, I do have more setups out of cross wheels. I'm going to go over those today as well. But I just want to note here that cross wheels, as well as zig under, are the two most important plays in this formation. So also just to note here, most of my setups today will have routes in them that will get open versus any coverage in the game. But what I'm going to do is show them versus coverages that I prefer using them against, or that I basically designed for them to work well against. So let's dive into it. So before we begin, I do want to just stress that you want to run this formation as often as possible, with the two wide receiver side going towards the short side of the field. I understand that sometimes you won't really have that choice, and the ball will either be like in the middle of the field, like this, or like in the middle. So if it's like this here, you don't have to worry here. You basically want to make sure the running back is facing or going towards the side of the field with more yards on it. So we're going to go ahead and show these setups versus cover 3 and then cover 4. They're going to work pretty similar for each. First setup here, it's going to be out of cross wheels. I'm going to flat that outside wide receiver on the left, streak the inside wide receiver, and then simply streak your running back out of the backfield. It's kind of way the progressions work here. You're going to look towards the flat route. It's a quick hit over splits. Otherwise, it'll pull down a flat to throw this little tight end crosser or the post deep. Aside from that, you're going to look to throw the running back in the seams. So call and hike. So you can still dump it off very easily. Pick up easy yards, stiff arm, get more. If you look towards the tight end route, you can see it gets underneath the zones very easily. So you can dump it off if you have to. Otherwise, you're going to look to buy time to throw the running back streak or the post. So you can see the running back streak, even with the red throw, we picked up about 15. Now your opponent will be using somebody over the middle of the field, so it's possible that'll be way more open, and you can dump it off to him. Now you can see here, post wide open, it's money. So the next setup here versus zone, it's going to be out of cross wheels again, but it looks like this. You can see return route on the wide receiver on the short side, inside streak to pull for the post at B. Then you have a running back seam with a tight end wheel. The tight end wheel is going to be good versus like a shade up or like a zone blitz on that side of the field. So we'll just run the play a few times here so you can see it in action. Look to see that return route's wide open. So now showing the tight end route here on the right side of the field. Look to see, nice little window for a quick pass, and then you just take as many yards as you can get. Also here, next up, running back streak out of the backfield you'll progress towards. You can see right there, pass leading it down. I always throw those wheels or streaks to my running back with a pass lead down, just to avoid getting hit in the backfield or throwing into coverage. And then from here, your last read will be the post. Buy enough time here, and you can go ahead and pass it right over the heads for easy yards. Now we want to get a completion here. Here it is again. Call hike. It's in the pocket, and throw a laser. So here we have bench. This is going to be only versus cover 3. I'll only really mix this in around one setup out of it. I'm going to streak this inside wide receiver just to have a possibility to throw it in the seams. Return route, this outside guy. Table route, your running back or block them. And then this outside wide receiver, put him on a corner and stem him all the way down. So you can see a quick hitter on the left side here. As soon as he breaks the zone is that return route. And I'll show you here. You have this running back flat route or table route to throw it to. You can see we picked up easy yards. And that'll often, if you're checking down, force them to like shade down, which if they shade down, they're going to give up this route here to the outside wide receiver on the corner. So you can see we pass lead it pretty easily. Nice little possession catch. Pick up your easy yards. Showed you in the replay here. So the tight end got chipped a little bit. Usually he won't, so you won't have to worry about him being so delayed. But he'll occupy this guy here, and then you pass lead this towards the sidelines for an easy catch. Another play strictly to attack cover 3 here. It's going to be a Z spot smash. This is what it looks like. All I do, put the outside receiver on a fade. This way you can try to attack one of these corner routes deep downfield. You can see how even with no pull route versus this cover 3, I was able to throw this guy here, this inside wide receiver, pass lead towards the sidelines for a possession catch. Now also, you can see looking towards the right side, you can throw this guy really easily with the cover 3. It's a good little combo on the right side of the field here. Now if they're not shaded up or down, you can simply dump it off to the running back or this little delayed, kind of like a reverse return route. I'm not sure what it's called. But you can see how that route here split the zones perfectly. And I was able to pick up easy yards. So a great play out of zig under or cover 3 will look like this here. Gonna set it up. You can see I have the outside wide receiver on the left here. On a return, I stem down the tight end corner all the way. We put the outside wide receiver on the right on a slot fade, and then you can simply block the running back or put him on a flat route here. So hiking the ball here, you can see versus a shade down, this guy is wide open. There's also a possibility that he'll get open versus non-shade down as well. The main purpose here of the play, I'll show you here. You want to look to throw the either the return or this post here over the middle. You can see he was open, so we were able to dump it off pretty easily. And then last up here, either the flat or return for a nice little short dump off if you need to get rid of the ball. The last setup here versus cover 3, simply streak this slot wide receiver, post route your tight end here, so you have a tight end post now, and then your running back, you can block or put them on a flat route. So call and hike here, you can see you have 2 short routes. You just got to make the read versus the zones. You can see you have the return route and the whip. And then simply, if you get enough time here, step up in the pocket, you can try to make the read. But unfortunately, we just got shedded there pretty badly. Let's do it again here. Right there, though. Easy yards. Picking up a ton of yards. A really good play to throw in because not really expecting a tight end post route in this formation. So as soon as he gets past any mid reads, make sure to fire it for easy yards. So we're going up against cover 4 here. Now we're mainly just going to throw the deeper routes or the main routes versus cover 4 just because we kind of already touched on how they get open versus cover 3. So I don't want to go over the same thing a million times. So first setup here looks like this. You can see you can go ahead and hit this guy here very easily for yards on the field. Now also what you can look to throw here is kind of another key read here is the running back streak out of the backfield, just passing it down and then possession catching it, some easy yards. So next up is going to be this setup here. You can see you can throw it to the flats, pick up easy yards as you need to. Then you still have other routes here you can throw. Running back route, pick up easy yards. Hit that return route here. When it cuts back in, you can see he's open. Easy yards, possibility for more yards after the catch. And then last but not least here, your big yard gainer here, which is going to be the post. You just have a lot of different areas of the field here that you can attack cover 4 with this setup. One being this guy here, tight end. Then the running back, return route. And lastly, the post. So the two setups here that I like to mix in out of zig under that I've also broke down in cover 3, this setup here. Mainly, you can look to throw this tight end if they're shaded down. If they're not shaded down, you want to throw the running back route. Just a nice little high-low read. And then you'll look on the left side here. The return route is very nice. Good window to fit it in versus the zones. And then lastly here, you'll have the post route. There you go, call hike. You can see you have a window to throw this guy as well and pick up easy yards. All right, so the last setup here out of zig under that you can run versus cover 4 is this one here. Like I stated, you have the two short routes if they're not shaded down, the whip and the return. Now you can see how you still have this post wide open. That's going to be the main purpose of this portion here, and what I'm going to show you with this play setup is just how open this tight end will get. Obviously don't want to throw any bad passes, but you can see the solo wide receiver streak here is pulling back both deep blues. So it leaves the tight end wide open and you get easy yards. Like I've stated, you still have these underneath routes to throw. The return route, once it clears the zones, or if they're not shaded down, you can throw this guy really quickly here on the whip. So versus cover 2, first cover 2 is to attack either the wheel route or this running back streak out of the backfield. Especially they're going to be using one of those middle linebackers, so you should be able to get more yards off of the catch. This seam streak here to the inside wide receiver is mainly just to pull the safety on that side, so you can easily throw this route, which I'll show to you now. You look at the replay here. He gets past this cloud. If they switch stick, throw to him. But if they don't switch stick, you can pass lead it up and get a ton of yards. So the last setup here strictly for cover 2 is going to be out of a Z-spot smash. What you want to do, streak this wide receiver here, drag the outside wide receiver on the right, and then from there, you can stem up this C route once if you want. Now, basically here, you're going to have a flood concept to the left side here, mainly looking to throw either the drag or that C route deep. Now, on the right side here, you're not really going to be able to throw that tight end route, if we're being honest, just because there's going to be like a 20-yard cloud on the right side. But it'll do a good job to pull back routes to dump off it to the flat route. So if you like take a look here, you can check down easily, take easy yards that way. So running again here, very easy setup. You can see you can hit the drag easily there, picking up easy yards. So we're doing it one more time. Practice mode here, the sheds are getting nasty. We're just going to block our running back here to buy some time. You can see here, you can easily throw the ball downfield. Show that replay. Nice little mix in here in order to throw a deep route towards the sideline that's not a wheel. So I have two setups here that you can run versus match. The first one is from Cross Wheels, the setup that I've gone over for cover 3 and cover 4. We'll touch on it here though. Looks like this. Call hike here. You can see how you can easily hit the flats here, especially versus this nickel over formation. I was able to just dump it off easily to the flats. Now from there, you can see how you can throw this guy running back out of the backfield. I'll show you in the replay why. So you can see the mid read here is going to match up to the post. The tight end wheel is going to pull that curl flat, leaving this guy wide open for a pass lead down completion. So moving on here, let's see, is this set up? You can see how you can throw this returner out quickly. You just gotta be a little bit weary that you don't throw it as the slot cornerback is biting down. Like I explained in my last video here, the slot corner matches up to this outside guy. So you'll have a window where you can throw it. Just like that. You can see we picked up a lot of yards. Now, the last read here is simply going to be the post route. You can see he gets matched up by the safety across the field, which leaves him wide open, and we're getting easy yards. You can see how he has to try to recover. This guy's got at least 10 yards on him, and he's picking up a big gain. So the last setup here is just going to be a nice little dot play. Go ahead and whip out this outside guy in tight flood. And then from there, you're going to flat this outside wide receiver, streak your running back, and simply post your tight end. So you can see versus the match here, you can hit him quickly in the flats for easy yards. I picked up like 10 after the catch here. And then if you look at the left side, you can see, remember, he doesn't get manned up. So you can hit that whip easily. Now, aside from that, you're going to look at the running back. But you can see the running back route here. Pass lead it down. Easy yards. Let's try to throw the corner, that sharp corner on the left. See right there. Nice little pass lead inside, but the quarterback kind of threw a duck there. Do it again. See if you can throw a nice one. See right there. Possession catch on the sideline. Now, your last read here is going to be the tight end. Hopefully, I can throw it with this tight end. He isn't the best. Feels really slow. But he gets separation on the cut here. It's like right there, where you can throw it. With a better tight end, you can throw it and get much more yards after the catch. But you can see here, he still got separation. You can even stem him up once in the post if you want him to run a little bit deeper. So just to show you a quick setup of it so you can see that. If you want, you can stem him up in the post so he runs a little bit deeper. That way we have a little bit more separation on that corner on the left. But you can see, like, you can throw it like that and then just try to possession catch it over the middle. So versus 2-man under here, the setup that I like is going to be out of the zig under. You want to go ahead and angle rush your running back, stem the tight end all the way down. It's going to be a good man cooker. It'll be a little bit better if you don't have this tight end that I do, but you should still be able to throw it. Now, the outside wide receiver, simply put him on a slot fade. This is just something in case they're running press. You have the potential to lob it deep. Now, we'll call hike here. You can see you have this angle route that cooks man coverage over the middle. And then set the play here. You can see on the left side, whip routes, good versus man. You may not always be able to throw that. You just got to kind of make that read yourself so you're not throwing something into coverage. And then you'll try to throw the tight end. Or aside from that, you'll try to throw the post over the middle, which you'll see should get open on the cut. We had to kind of lob it inside, put a little touch pass on it. The post will still do a decent enough job versus man that you can still mix this in. Along with the running back angle here, cutting over the middle, he's wide open. You have the tight end route 2 stemmed all the way down. It's going to cook man. Versus like a cover 0 blitz, we're basically just going to stand in the gap. Now you always want to make sure that you block any sort of cover 0. So I will base protect. I've gone over this a lot. I've also dropped videos on this. Block your running back. And then you want to go ahead and untarget the user here that's sitting in the gap like that. That'll block the blitz. Now the setup here that I'm going to break down. Stem down this tight end corner. Then we're going to put this guy out here on a stemmed up out route. He's got a speed out animation here. If they're in a press cover 0 defense, I'm going to go ahead and put them on a slot fade, just because those are good for burning deep, or you can put them on a streak, whichever you really want. I like the slot fades personally, just because it's spaced out a little bit better on the field. Really is it sitting on the post. So real quick here, we'll show the speed out on the break. You just throw it towards the sidelines, possession catch. Let's go ahead and set the defense up again here. See, that's all you got to do to stop the mid blitz. Look at the right here. You can see how badly this tight end cooked the safety. Now he dropped it, but that'll happen from time to time. You'll get knockouts. But you can see how much separation he had. And with a faster tight end, you're going to be able to throw that and pick up a ton of yards. And then you can see the post is nasty as well. I was able to score a touchdown. The safety is manned up to him, so he cooks him right there. I'm sorry, it's not the safety, it's the slot corner. On the cut, torches him, and you're off to the races. So that completes the breakdown here of shotgun tight doubles. I will be dropping a gameplay video this weekend so y'all can see the offense in action. If you appreciate my content, like always, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. So if you have any questions at all on the scheme here, make sure to comment below. I get to them as quickly as I can. I'll see you next time.